Happy trails and trails of tears. I am happy to be headed out, but quiet. Something is stirring in my heart. I have been drawn lately to another journey. I want to trace the trail of tears, following in the footsteps walked by those uprooted from the land here 150 years ago. Just south of the Resaca exit, I see the signs for New Ecota, the capital of the Cherokee Nation. In my own family lineage, there remains a lingering question about Cherokee bloodlines on my father's side, though the fact of the matter is we just don't know. There's no question at all about the affinity I have long felt with Native cultures and indigenous traditions. The drumbeat of my tribal ancestry has long echoed through my heart. I long to sit close to the fire, to listen to the stories no one had yet dared to speak aloud. A warrior's cry was welling up, and soon it would be held back no more. I wanted to match the miles traversed by those who knew this land intimately before our forefathers had torn them from it. I wanted to know the joy of dancing barefoot outside before a coursing stream, and also to feel the sacred ground being ripped from me, to know the anguish of an orphan pulled from the dead mother's breast. This was my country, and these were my people, whether by blood or spirit. It is a colored and complicated history our nation conceived in liberty. Now the uneasy alliance shows signs of strain. Our broken arrow history points to the result of shameful separation enforced on those keepers of the flame who came before. The Indian problem was a fire snuffed out, conveniently swept off to the left and pushed aside to make way for progress by our short-sighted definition of what that meant. It is now an hour into my trip, and the car clock reads 9:11. I pass a sign for Tunnel Hill and know that on the trail of tears that runs through every life and every country known to man, each one of us can lend some light down through the tunnel of time and shed the cloak of shame by facing the fear we've hidden in the dark. Who will bear the pain of bearing witness to the horror of what we've done, whether by deliberate action or acquiescence? A giant sign warns me and other drivers to keep off the median. We are taught to choose sides, to know where we stand and what lines not to cross. We learn to hang on for dear life to one pole or the other in this life, but I tire of this game of winners and losers, of being on the right side or the wrong side of history. I long for radical restoration, and it is the median where I want to be. Lately, I find a rekindled interest in the family history. My father has done much research on the lines of heritage. Last night, in conversation, he reminded me that when I was 12, I wrote a letter to my aunt, my grandma's sister, requesting information about our family tree. Apparently, she had written back. My father told me she had written back to say there are things best left alone, stories too storied to tell. Truth be told, I wanted to claim all the colors of my life, to weave them back into a feathered headdress of my own. Only when I wore them all would I be most beautiful in my life's true dance. I wonder how much of my history and our shared story has been neatly put aside through all the years. Tired of the standard choices for getting from Georgia to Kentucky, left through Nashville and up I-65, or stay with 75 right through Knoxville, I take the middle way. In search of some new story, I am following the road straight through the heart of Tennessee. I wonder why I've never done it before, as the route is not only infinitely more scenic, but just as fast. I am thinking about tradition and time as I come across the historical marker designating the site when, in October of 1837, someone named B.B. Cannon led 365 Cherokees through this land on their way to present-day Oklahoma. Their forced removal had left a tear through time, like the one on my own ripped drum. The realization astounds me. Suddenly, I see what I will do and why I've kept the torn drum that ripped my heart from me more than 2 years ago. I know the way to sing again the song of my soul. On this, a day of happy trails to a cabin in the woods, I see the perfection and divine timing in it all. It is a story I will circle back to tell another day when I trace the trail of tears and return to their rightful place, the stories swept away by time.